Also watching Breakfast Central here on News Central. We are back. Well, today we do have a special, so we would have to put breaks to the front pages of the newspapers. We'll bring it later on in the course of the second hour. But earlier in the week, we brought you an investigative piece about a lady who had been raped and left to survive the consequences of the rape all by herself. The report you watched on Tuesday, just in case you did, at 8:30 p.m. is one of our special investigative series which follows the story of Folakemi Ogunsusi, a young aspiring event manager and teacher who was drugged, raped, and impregnated by her colleague. After coping with such a traumatic experience and living with it in survival mode since 2022, is there any hope for Folakemi to really heal and move past this part of her life? Well, I'm glad to let you see a snippet of this investigative journalism piece, and when I come back, I will do the honors, because we do have Folakemi in the studio, and of course, we do have Barrister Olumide Kayode-Omosebi. So stay with us and take a look at this clip. Well, I'm sure you were able to see that video as well when it was aired here on News Central. But a very touching situation we do have with us here live. This morning, we have Folakemi Ogunsusi herself and a lawyer, Barrister Olumide Kayode-Omosebi. They join us live in the studios. Thank you so much for being here. And first of all, let me say, Folakemi, you've gone through a whole lot. And while watching that video, one could only imagine what it would lead to in terms of your mental strength. And we want to say our sincere apologies for what you've really gone through. It's really a tough one. It's really tough on you.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you as well, Barrister, for following this up. Our conversation would like to explore on different aspects of what's really happening now, dwelling less more on what really happened in the past, because the video had covered all of that. But can you quickly share with us, Folakemi, what steps you've taken to heal? So far, so good.
All right, thank you for having me on the show. After my daughter's death, so I tried to seek the help of a therapist, because coupled with everything and the trauma, because right before I met Barrister Olumide, I could not deal with it. I was always aggressive on everybody around me because I feel unsafe. So then after my daughter's death, I don't know the next step to do, not until someone was like, you need to heal, you need to talk to someone, you need to let it out. So I was like, I need the help of a therapist. So I started the therapy section on Monday. Yeah.
This Monday?
Yeah, this Monday. So I just started it. So it has to take me back through from the past. Now, like, we are still in the middle of it.
And I mean, I applaud you for, choosing to follow the journey and healing. And I know that healing is not an overnight journey. It will take time. I'll come back to speak with you, but let's bring in your lawyer. How did you get in contact with, Folakemi? How did you get to know of her case? And why, did you pursue it this far?
I think she got my number from someone and called me last year, I think. And when she told me her story, I run a foundation called the Nurses Help Initiative. We help victims of domestic violence and abuse, child abuse, and I'm also on the radio on Saturday, so I think the person got my contact, and we tried to now pursue the case when we saw that she had some evidence from text messages where she accused him, and we have realized over time that the silence about the matter, the stigma where the woman internalizes, doesn't speak out, is what actually kills. Last year we lost about 9 women who committed suicide because there was nowhere, no one to talk to. People would start asking you, okay, what did you go and do there? What did you wear? So it was as if they blame women for their own. So we decided to take on the case. Unfortunately, there was a place of jurisdiction. It happened in Ota. We are in Lagos State. So the police in Lagos cannot really go and operate there without the permission of the Commissioner of Police there. So we used the state CID. We investigated, and there was some investigative work there, and we finally had him arrested. But at that time, the child, after 2.5 years,
Yeah.
the child was always in a state of crisis, you know, difficulty to breathe. She was 2 years, but when you saw her, she looked like 6 months because she didn't fully develop. The case is being handled at the state CID here, Apansi. He was locked up, and she spoke out. She had that chance to confront her abuser, which a lot of people don't. But unfortunately, the child fell into a very deep crisis, and we lost her. And now we are faced with the mother, so that we don't lose her too.
Right.
Because of that trauma. So,
and I'm glad that, you know, you're following up with the story and helping her get the necessary help. Folakemi, when you confronted your abuser, what was it like?
I felt like slapping him, like holding him on the neck, because it was so, I was bitter and I felt this range of anger in me. So at a point I stood up, I wanted to slap him. So one of the officers was like, I should just calm down and just let him be. So I just had to hold myself and just be at peace.
I think the part that really upset me the most was when he said, if you say that I'm responsible for this, then I'm sorry. When you watched that, how did you feel?
I was so angry that, okay, because it wasn't apologetic. It wasn't saying it from the place of, maybe, yes, it was genuine. So I was like, okay, this guy doesn't even know the graffiti of whatever it is that is on ground. So I just looked at it that, no, this guy needs to go to jail, because it doesn't, like, I looked at it that there are so many of him out there, and maybe that's not even his first time. Yeah. So because he's not saying it from the place of, oh, yeah, I'm truly sorry. He just said it, oh, let me just say it and let everything end. Yeah.
But for the benefit of those who are watching now who may have missed out on the documentary, by the way, we're going to air the documentary one more time. Later today, we'll share the timing with you. But Folakemi, can you give us a background, how you met this person? Was he a trusted friend? And what were some of the loopholes that you may have seen or that happened without your knowledge?
Okay, we both work in a school. We are colleagues. So I was a teacher and also an event planner. So, but the side of event planning that I chose more was surprise aspects, because I'm a teacher and a student, so I don't want to venture into it more. So it deals with graphics. So he helps me with my graphic design, designed throw pillow frames, and his work, it was even the one that designed my what's it called, logo. So I loved his work and everything. So over the years, he has been the one helping me out. So every job I get from every client, I give it to him. So the last job I got was this last one. He didn't deliver it. I had to go to his house. I called him. I had to go to his house to, like, okay, I need this job because I'll have to deliver early in the morning so that I'll have to get to school. So I'll go out in the morning like 6, get to school like 6:45. I'll leave the rest of the team to handle the work. So this one, he didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't know why he didn't deliver it to me in school. So I have to go to his house. Getting to his house, it was his mom that opened the gate for me. So later on, I didn't say his mom. He offered me a drink. I said no. He was telling me I was angry, stuff like that. He went ahead, he got the drink, Fanta. And I took it. After some minutes, like 5 minutes, I just felt my whole body was numb. I could not. So I found myself on his bed. I was unconscious and at the same time not totally unconscious. And I saw someone taking advantage of me. I was helpless, trying to beg that, oh, please don't do this. But at that point, I think, yeah, he had his way. So I confronted him, telling him that, oh, yeah, you raped me, or did you do anything? He denied. Not until after a month, I called him that, oh, yeah, I am pregnant. Because I have someone I was dating, but the person was not in town. He wasn't staying around. So he was like, if I'm pregnant. So that was when it came to me that he had to dawn on me that, oh, yeah, you really raped me or you slept with me the last time. He said, I should do whatever it is my fellow ladies are doing. That was the response he gave to me. So for 9 months, throughout those periods, I was just doing it all by myself because he kept on threatening me in school.
What was he saying to you when he was threatening you?
So he was telling me that if I should say anything or try to make any more moves, that nobody will hear about me. Yeah. It's because he realized that, oh, I have no one to come and fight for me. I'm the only one staying there. He hasn't seen any family member coming around or anything. So he felt that, yeah, so if he ends it, that it will be a silent stuff, so nobody will hear it.
Wow. Anyway, there's more to this story, and we have it documented live. You know, we have a documentary that has aired. It aired yesterday or 2 days ago at 8:30 p.m. and we'll let you know further times that it will air. We'll also share it on our YouTube channel. But you mentioned that you were in a relationship at the time that he raped you. How did your partner react to this?
Okay, when I told him that I was raped, he was like, how come? I have warned you not to work in the night. I said, no, it's like someone close. So I didn't tell him direct that it was this colleague of mine. So later on, he said, I'm suspecting it's Olamide. But he was not in Lagos. So it was just like, for that period, when he now found out that I was pregnant, it was just like, okay, let him just act along. But the day I gave birth, everything just went south.
So he abandoned you?
Yeah. So it was like, because at a point people thought that, oh, he's the father of the child because that's the only person they know me with. So it was like, people were calling him, congratulations, you didn't even tell us that you are engaged with Folakemi and you guys are now pregnant, you're expecting a child. It just kept quiet. So the day I gave birth, he just called everybody. I'm not the father of the child. Folakemi was raped.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I felt like, wow, you're not mature enough to handle this, right? Because everybody, that was when I know that it was so shameful, and I felt like, no, this is someone I trusted with this story, and I felt, okay, at a point you should have protected me, even if you wanted to end the relationship, not for you to. He sent one of his pastors to come and check me in the hospital, and the pastor called him back and said, yeah, she's fine. I said, it's of no use. So I called back, hearing the story up and down in the neighborhood. People were calling because immediately because of that, my sister had to come in and said, okay, I'm no more staying in Ota. I should just come down to Lagos because they don't know what will come out of it.
Where did this happen? What state? For the benefit of our viewers.
Oh, it happened in Ota.
Ota. Okay,
Ogun
fine.
State.
All
Yeah.
right. Are your parents? Which member of your family is around today?
None.
None of them. Okay. But do you have any sibling, any sister or brother who's
Yeah, my sister I stayed with.
in Lagos?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So just the both of you.
With her husband.
With her husband. Okay. So they've been there for you, trying to ensure up until now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's good. You also mentioned that he had his own mother then. Any word from his family?
Throughout the whole situation, his family didn't come through because the day I gave birth, they called him. He said he doesn't want the child. he insulted the people that called him in the hospital, stuff like that. So there was a point they asked
The
him.
audacity for me.
Yeah. So there was a point a friend of mine that stayed with me in the hospital called him that, oh, Folake lost a lot of blood because she gave birth through CS, and I know you're the father of this child. We need money. So he said he doesn't have money. So they gave him time, like 3 days or 4 days after I've given birth. One of the neighbors that I stayed with had to call him that, do you know you are very, very stupid? That you impregnated a woman out of her home view and you are still like, no. He said he wanted to do wedding. Yeah, that
With
was
who?
with a friend, with one of my friends.
And was this your friend aware that he raped you?
Yes, she was aware.
And she was going ahead to marry him?
Yeah, she
My
went ahead
goodness.
to marry him.
And they're married now?
Yeah, they're married.
Okay, let's talk about this young man, you know, where he is, because I'm sure that for the benefit of our audience who are yet to see the documentary, people are probably boiling now. So I'll bring in your lawyer. So talk to us about him. I know that he was arrested, but where is he now?
He was arrested and detained. However, he started having health crisis there. He's not of sound health, so he had to be released on bail because of health reasons. Now, some things she did not specifically, first of all, she's an orphan. That's why when you asked for family, so she had been almost all her entire life by herself. And the family of the suspect who raped her was not aware. He did not tell them. So it was last week that his father just found out that he had a granddaughter at the station. So the father was just staring like all this had been happening for 2 years. The mother said she didn't know, members of the family. He had isolated everybody. He didn't tell anybody until after the passing of the child, which furthermore infuriated me, because this child had been, you know, the first time we met her, the child was in crisis. Our organization had to step in because, you know, the child would be on oxygen for probably a month. In last of oxygen per day is 24,000. So she couldn't have a job because no one would take care of that child, no nanny, no home, because it's a hole in the heart. The breathing, I'm sure in the documentary you would hear the breathing. So everyone was rather scared of taking responsibility. So she's not been able to work ever since. She's not been able to go to school. Her life had been on hold for 2.5 years, and the gentleman went ahead, married her friend, and, you know, they have their own child, and, you know, he totally isolated. The wife knew, because we have recorded conversations before, and after she even had, the conversation had come up before the wedding, and that was where the gentleman and his, someone who he claimed to be a father figure came to threaten her that, listen, he wants to get married, or don't use your own to spoil his journey in life and all that. So she had to leave Ota and come to Lagos, where she tried to get a job, but everywhere she dropped the child, less than an hour, they would call her back. And so now the major issue here is the prosecution, which might, in Nigeria, to prove rape, I've been around for 22 years now, more or less, and in my 22 years, I've seen less than 15 convictions of rape. It is the most difficult to prove, and you have also the issue of jurisdiction. It happened in another state. We had to come through where she was staying. We can't take her back to the incident because of the health of the child, and so it is pending, and the gentleman is claiming some health crisis, but the death of the child really took a toll on the entire case, because of what use is taking a mother to court where she cannot speak. The trauma of the child, you put the picture of the child to show, is it, you know, what DNA, what you want to do at that time. So we are concentrating on her getting better, and thank God for her courage. So other women going through this, because either tradition or religion would make you quiet. Maybe her courage will let other people speak up, and then let organizations or people know, and people try to intervene, have the suspect arrested, and teach them. There are ways, there are steps which you can, in cases of rape, which must be that same day. Instead of going home to have a bath, instead of keeping quiet, it is very important that very day to make that report. And that is why we go from secondary schools now, free of charge, to raise awareness against domestic violence and abuse and sexual-based violence against both male and female, because believe it, men are also sexually abused, boys. In fact, 1 in every 7 boys will be sexually harassed, abused before the age of 10. But they don't know what is going on. So how to identify sexual abuse, especially in our children, and what to do. What we are hoping is that people will connect to her story, and with her bravery, come out to confront. The day she confronted the gentleman in the office, you could see 2
Can we
years.
even be referring to him with his name?
His name?
Yes, let's keep referring to him with his
Olamide.
name. Yes.
The day she confronted him at the office, at the state CID. You could see 2.5 years of silence, 2.5 years of swallowing every reaction, swallowing all the bills. There are times that she can't even afford what that the hospital might just try to write off a little because they see that she cannot afford. She's been to various places, the Heart Foundation here, to see if they could, you know, 2.5 years of running around. Her life was totally, no relationships, no family connection, nothing. But they got squatting because, of course, she can't even afford rent. She's not working. So you could see her eventually let out. And after that day, you know, we were outside, and I said, "How do you feel?" She said, I feel light. Yeah. Because finally she was able to say. And that is one thing we need to do, confront your abuser. They always threaten, "I will kill you." If it's
bullies and cowards.
And it is a result of fear.
Yeah.
They are afraid.
Yeah.
And the way, you know, the bravado, the arrogance is a cover for fear. Because just one word could, it's life imprisonment for rape.
I want you to quickly go back quickly as you can to talk about the steps people need to take. I know you said as soon as they finish as soon as the rape has occurred, the first thing is not to run home.
Go to the nearest police station.
All right.
Go to the nearest police station. There are times, a lot of times in rapes, a man doesn't have time to put on protection. So there are things like you might have seminal fluid on you. The way you are, the police need to see it, take pictures, take videos, go to the scene of the crime. Hopefully there might be 1 or 2 persons, maybe a security guard. They must have passed somebody who would confirm that this person was there. They were together in that room, or she ran out. Once you have that corroboration that someone was able to identify, but when you leave, the scene of crime changes. The people that were there have gone.
Okay.
You understand?
Then what about hospitals? I know that there's also a specificity with, the kind of hospital, maybe government hospitals, in terms of the assessment. Is that something to consider?
Yes. Courtrooms, the judicial system tend to favor public hospitals because it is more difficult to manipulate results. Private hospitals, probably if you know the doctor, you could tell them to write something. And you also have to protect men from victimization. I mean, some people, because they want to get something from a man, they just say, he raped me.
Yes.
So you also have to protect the men from unfair accusations. So there is more state-owned and government hospitals will be preferred. And then there are places like WARIF, Women at Risk Foundation. There's
Mirabel Foundation.
Mirabel Foundations, which at times some of them have these rape kits, and they're able to also medically corroborate your claim. Passage of time is always against the women. Has happened 2.5 years ago, we're arresting now. A judge will be like, why wait? Passage of time is always a problem. Women don't talk 6 months after, 10 months after. Everything, you just need 24 hours for a scene of crime to completely change. So you need to speak up, tell somebody. And please don't just tell anybody. At times you tell people that will worsen your situation.
Absolutely.
As a Christian, what were you looking for there? What were you wearing? Maybe it is what you were wearing that end. You know, now, and that further drives the woman back. Whatever she was looking for, was she looking for rape? So when you say, what was she looking for? Was she looking for rape? So those are steps that people should
Okay.
consider.
Thank you so much for breaking it down, especially for our viewers. Folakemi, I mean, he's spoken deeply on your courage, and for us back here, even for my investigative journalist, Marshall, he also had spoken about how strong a woman you are, that you've been able to push the boundaries, and we do understand that you may have your downtime sometimes, and then when you're back up, you're back up. If I may ask, what was the name you gave to your daughter before her passing?
I gave her Grace Muferolua. Yeah. So, and I felt Grace as always spoken for her. Yeah. Then I gave her Muferolua because I believe she's a gift from God. Even at the initial stage, I don't want to accept that gift. It was difficult for me because I wasn't ready mentally, physically. All my focus was for me to get successful in life, build my brand to something. Yeah. You know, as a child who doesn't have anybody to support, all I could do is just to work and get myself something and someone to be proud of. So, yeah. So I also gave her Benis, yeah, meaning bringer of victory. So recently when I reflected on the whole story, I was asking myself that, is this the victory? No, I didn't want it this way. And my sister was telling me that it might not reflect now, maybe later in future. So because the day she was diagnosed with hole in the heart, that was November 2022, I ran out of the hospital. Immediately, I ran out of the hospital. That was Randall General Hospital. I ran to the street. I was not even looking out if the car was going to hit me. So I remember that I was trying to put a call through to my sister that, okay, this is what the doctors were saying, because she was running a heart rate of 300 and something.
Wow.
And heart failure, everything. So I didn't even listen to them. I just ran out of the hospital, and I noticed 2 men just held me that, ma, you want to go and kill yourself. So I was just telling my sister on the phone I wanted to die. But everything was just too much. So I drew my courage and strength from her. Because despite all the pain, she was always smiling.
She was a fighter.
Yeah.
Folakemi, you've been through so much, but you've taken the lemons that life has thrown at you, and every day you're finding different ways to make lemonade of it. What will support mean to you in this season? How can people show up for you?
Yeah, I'm still a student, and I'm also trying to build my business back, because ever since the incident happened, I will not mention to anybody I'm an event planner, neither am I doing surprise, because fear of going back and believing that this might happen again. Yeah. So I restricted myself. So I hardly bake cake or things I loved doing before. So Support, as much as I want, not for me alone. Also, Grace might be dead, but there are so many kids out there that need help. So I thought about it, yeah, even whatever help I can get to be able to finish through school and also to be able to be somebody in life, and also for me to also help other ladies and kids out there.
All right. So what level are you in school now?
300 level.
What are you studying?
International Relations.
Beautiful. Where?
A National Open University.
All right. So you have how many years to go?
Just 1 year.
1 year. So you need help to go through the final year of your school and then your business. And I'm hoping that well-meaning Nigerians who are watching can reach out to us here at New Central. We'll be happy to help make a connection so that you can be a support to keep, Folakemi moving and help her to heal past the trauma. I just want to say to you that you're so brave and you're courageous.
Thank you.
And as a woman, I'm incredibly proud of you for how you're giving other women a voice. I've been able to speak with a number of women, and there's some who haven't had the courage to share, not just because of the societal stigma, but also just being able to relieve the trauma every day. It's a battle, and every day you're fighting. So victory might not have come in the way that you expected, but for every day that you show up as yourself, you show up sharing your story, you're being victorious, okay?
Yeah,
thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Do you have friends?
I just have one.
Would you like to make more friends?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make an offer to you after the show. Maybe we'd like to host you and a number of women for Christmas if it's something that you're open to.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Folakemi, for sharing your story
Thank you,
with us, with the world. And thank you so much to our lawyer.
Thank you.
We have legal practitioner and convener of Genesis Help Initiative, Olumide Kayode-Omosebi. Thank you for the work that you've done for her and for several other women, giving them a voice. She said why she didn't talk about it was that she felt helpless initially, but you've given her courage to fight and you've amplified her voice. She wouldn't be here today sharing the story with the world if you didn't help. So thank you. For people who may be in similar situations, I want to reach out to your organization. How can they do that? And for people who want to even support your organization with the work that you're doing, how can they reach out?
Thank you very much. Probably I give a number or reach out to me directly. That would be 0909 3214-942. 0909 3214-942. What we do basically is to be a voice and to stand in intervention, prosecution of victims of domestic violence and abuse, which includes things like this rape, and then child abuse, which includes defilement, those that sexually molest children or commit crimes against people under the age of 18.
All right, so I'll just take the number again very quickly. It's 0909 3214-942, right?
Yes.
That's 0909 3214-942. The name again, please?
Olumide Kayode-Omosebi.
Olumide Kayode. So please, any well-meaning Nigerian who feels that this is the time to take Folakemi to another place where she would indeed find peace, calmness, and also kickstart her future again, please feel free to reach out to us here at News Central. And better still, you can also reach out to the lawyer as well, who has done a great job. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a conversation that I'm sure a lot of persons watching today. There's someone watching today who has been in your shoes as well, and I'm sure that person is inspired right now to come out and speak. It's because they've seen your courage, they've seen the power that you've put forth to ensure that you help elevate and also speak to those who are equally going through the same thing. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're sure that the sky is beyond your limit. Trust. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.